Hey guys, welcome to my new series of videos on the agents of Valorant. In this series I will be looking at every agent in the game, with videos being broken down into sections, discussing their abilities, playstyle, and interactions with other agents. These videos aren't meant to show exactly how you should play each of the agents, just some of the ways they can be played, from which you can try them out and see what works best for you. Today we're going to be looking at Valorant's resident bowman, Sova.
Wherever they run, I will find them.
Because why wouldn't you bring a bow to a gunfight? Sova's intel gathering is second to none, making up for his lack of mobility and defensive capabilities. He can gather information for the team and root out enemies in power positions or holding angles. As he cannot slow enemy pushes or block lines of sight, he works best when he has close team support, and his positioning is important as it is hard for him to retreat. Overall, Sova's main flaw is his reliance on his teammates to be effective. In most situations, you have to be coordinating with teammates to get the most out of his abilities, as in many cases, he is not close enough to the action to follow up on the information he gathers. As part of a coordinated team, he is probably the best support character, allowing your teammates to get the most out of their abilities or to get kills. As a solo player, his effectiveness is reduced, although he can still be played aggressively, so you can act on the information you gather, or you can stick close to your teammates and help them once you know what they're planning. Of Sova's 4 abilities, 3 revolve around using its bow, and the 4th is a drone. Sova comes with wall hacks pre-installed. His signature ability, the Recon Bolt, allows him to fire an arrow which reveals enemy positions within the arrow's line of sight. There is a 35-second recharge for this ability. The strength of the arrow can be controlled, allowing looping shots over buildings or powerful shots for long distances. Up to 2 bouncers can be added to the arrow's trajectory, allowing Sova to gather intel from cover or to scan enemies who are inside rooms. Once the Recon Bolt comes to rest, it will pulse 3 times, revealing enemies through walls. The counter to the Recon Bolt is that it can be shot and destroyed. There is a short period of time where the enemy team can destroy the bolt before it reveals their locations, although this still gives information that there are enemies close by. This makes this ability more effective when the opposition players are distracted and can't instantly shoot the bolt. The Recon Bolt can also be used to clear rooms by first revealing any enemies within the room, which allows you to enter and kill them whilst they are aiming at the bolt to destroy it. The Recon Bolt can also be followed up by Sova's other abilities, the Shock Bolt or Hunter's Fury. Although if you're not in cover, this can be risky, as it isn't uncommon for enemies to aggressively push you once they have been revealed to try to catch you off guard. At the start of a defensive round, the Recon Bolt can be invaluable to find where the attacking push is coming from, as on offense most attacking teams will stack up on one bomb site, so if you can identify where they're coming from, it can allow your team to reposition early so they cannot rush the site and take control. As Sova, you want to be set up to fire the Recon Bolt at the most likely lane where the attackers will come from. If you detect them, you can call out to your team to help, or if they're not there, it allows you to get an early flank and pincer the attacking team. However, if you rely on a few Recon Bolt spots and use them most rounds, their effectiveness is reduced, and you become too predictable. To get the most out of him, you need to learn how the bow works and how to find good angles from anywhere on the map. If offense manages to plant the spike, the Recon Bolt can be used to find their defensive positions around it. The Recon Bolt is especially good in clutch situations where you can quickly check areas are clear, allowing you to push with speed and confidence. On offense, where defender positions are more predictable, it is better not to use the Recon Bolt instantly at the start of the round, as it shows up on the minimap, revealing where your team is pushing from. It is better to save it to check hiding spots, or if you can get a bolt to land towards the back of sight, it can reveal defender positions. After the spike is planted, the Recon Bolt can be used to hold a lane into sight, allowing your team to focus on the other lanes. Sova's next ability, the Shock Bolt, is basically Sova's version of a grenade, with the same firing mechanics as the Recon Bolt. Sova can carry a total of 2 each round, with each costing 100 credits. If enemy players tend to camp in the same spot each round, they can be used preemptively to deal free damage, or they can be used with Sova's intel gathering abilities to push enemies out of power positions or to finish them off. The Shock Bolt does 90 damage to close by enemies, with the damage dropping off to 23 fairly rapidly. Once you've learnt how to use the bow, they are an important part of Sova's kit, although they can do team damage if you're not careful. Sova's next ability, the Owl Drone, costs 300 credits and can only be bought once per round. Sova launches a relatively large drone, which can be piloted around the map for 10 seconds. It has a tracking dart, which when fired at enemies reveals their positions and pings them 3 times. The health of the drone is on the left, the time remaining is on the bottom, and the dart recharge bar is on the right. The drone allows Sova to safely check areas where enemies may be holding angles. Ideally, you don't want to be using the drone all by yourself. It works best when used in conjunction with teammates to call out enemy locations as they push, similar to droning in Rainbow Six Siege. Finally, Sova decided seeing enemies through walls wasn't enough, he needed to be able to kill them through them too. For his ultimate, Hunter's Fury, Sova pulls out his bow and can fire up to 3 energy bolts that pass through walls, damaging and highlighting enemies. It does 80 damage, meaning most enemies need to be hit twice to be eliminated. Hunter's Fury costs 7 ultimate points and has a 6-second time limit when activated. When using this ability, it is useful to look at the minimap, as the blue rectangle shows which area the shot is going to hit, although you do need to consider the varying height of the map, as the bolt doesn't have a large vertical range. If you hit an enemy with one of the bolts, they become highlighted, allowing for easy follow-up shots to eliminate them. This ultimate is effectively used with the Recon Bolts, as if you know where the opponents are, it is basically a free kill. Sova's abilities allow him to play well with any other agent in Valorant, as information is useful to everyone. You can help your teammates safely push into rooms and places defenders may be holding angles, or allow your team to use damaging abilities precisely off walls or round corners. Another use of the Recon Bolt is to coordinate with teammates who have laid down line of sight blocking abilities, as you can scan and mark enemies, allowing your team to shoot through the smoke and get easy kills. Sova and Breach can work as an effective team to clear out areas, as Sova can ping the enemy players and Breach can stun or flash them through the wall for easy eliminations. A similar tactic can be used with Omen's Paranoia and Phoenix's Curveball. Sova is an excellent counter to Viper, as he can find her within her Viper's pit, or use shock bolts to damage her. Sova also is a counter to line of sight blocking abilities, as it stops enemies rotating and using them as cover. Overall, Sova is a strong agent whose role is to gather information from safety and supply it to teammates, allowing them to safely clear areas and get kills. Although he lacks the capability to block line of sight or slow enemy pushes, his intel gathering skills are above any other agents, and he can be an important part of any team composition. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video or learned something new, please like and consider subscribing for more Valorant guides and content. Now here's some more clips showing just what Sova can do.